Hey everyone, a warm welcome from Uluru. I'm in the Northern Territory in Central Australia, and I just wanted to take a quick moment to share with you about why it's important to go on a conscious retreat for yourself, especially if you're a business owner, a solopreneur, a wannabe-preneur, or an entrepreneur. In particular, I wanted to touch very briefly on why you might feel stressed or anxious or overwhelmed with making the tough decisions that you have to make every day. And you might think that it's only about mindset, but it's a lot more than that. It's a gut issue. What you feed your gut directly impacts how you function. Now, this isn't a video about weight loss. What I would like to impart instead to you is that it's more than just nutritional advice. It's a perspective shift on how you view what it means to be the best leader that you can be and to create the impact that you want to create in your community and also in the world. So with the new science out there about the gut and the brain connection, the reason you might feel an overwhelming amount of self-doubt, anxiety, or fear, or the reason you may feel unsafe to be fully who you are without the layers and layers of masks that we put on ourselves on a daily basis is because you're probably poisoning your gut with things that you don't even know are bad for you. Have you ever heard the phrase, trust your gut instincts? Trust your gut. Well, if your gut is swarming with bad bacteria and destructive yeast from taking in too many sugars and junk food, then your brain gets stuck in survival mode and you can't access the higher brain functions that you need in order to feel creative and inspired. Science actually shows that 90% of serotonin is made in the gut. And serotonin, we know, is responsible for happiness, confidence, learning, memory, and a whole bunch of other physiological processes. So if you want to become a better decision maker, a better creative problem solver, a happier, a more confident leader, you need to address what you're feeding your gut. If you're addicted to sugar and caffeine and you need it every day as a way to get you through the day and you're literally running on reserves, that's not sustainable for your system. So then your body becomes flooded with adrenaline and cortisol, which are the stress hormones, and you become even more stressed. And then every day feels like this uphill battle. And it doesn't matter how much you meditate, you're never going to reach an elevated state of consciousness where you are your most creative and most inspired version of yourself if you've clogged up your gut with all of these poisons. Just think about this. Homo sapiens evolved from roughly 300,000 to 200,000 years ago. And evolutionary scientists agree that it takes about 6,000 to 12,000 years for genes to adapt and mutate. And that would be about one mutation every 300 or 600 generations. And 100 years ago, we weren't exposed to the 700,000 chemicals that we are exposed to daily right now. And 100 years ago, the average person ate 5 pounds of sugar per year. And today, we're eating close to 200 pounds of refined sugars and then another 180 pounds of refined grains, which then turns into sugars and gets absorbed into the bloodstream. That is insane. Modern people are actually creating more stress and anxiety in our bodies because of the high sugar, high carb diets that we've adopted. I'm actually out here in the desert with my friend Kira. We're on a 3-day water fast and we are praying and meditating with the land, especially with all of the fires that have been happening here across Australia. And we are here for an energetic reboot for ourselves, but also for the land. And as much as this is a detox of our physical systems, it's also a detox for our mind, allowing our guts to empty out the sludge of stale emotions that get stored in the belly. Emotions are the byproducts of chemical reactions in the body, and they get trapped in our guts if we don't deal with them. So all of our limiting beliefs, all of our fears about money, about career, relationships, it will physically harm us if we don't emotionally resolve them. Now, you can't just go on a fast without being prepared for it. So I'm not telling you to start fasting tomorrow, but there are more integrative ways to softly detox the body to create optimal brain function. So if you're If upgrading your brain and gut connection for creativity, confidence, and inspiration sounds like something that you need in your life, I will be leading an integrative retreat to Bhutan April 9th for 7 days, and there's also a 10-day program where we will detox the mind, the body, the emotions with food, yoga, meditation, workshops for reigniting your power and purpose. This will be led by myself and Dr. Karma, who is a very funny man, and he's also an ex-Buddhist monk, and he'll be our spiritual tour guide during this trip. And also in Switzerland around August, I'll be leading a 5-day immersion to awaken to your life's dream by aligning the mind, body, and spirit with world-renowned Jungian psychoanalyst Patricia Ann Elwood. We will be deep diving into the unconscious brain and actualizing the potentiality of a future that we want to create. And yes, we will also be addressing our second brain, which is the gut. The dates for this one will be announced soon, so stay tuned for that. And I just wanted to tell you how much I love retreats because it's so immersive, the community aspect of being with other like-minded people who are there to better themselves, and we need each other to do that. So please reach out to see if you are ready to make a big shift and if any of these retreats call out to you, especially if you feel tired all the time and you feel overwhelmed with the day-to-day tasks of what it takes to run a business or work for an organization while you're trying to live a fulfilling personal life at the same time. I look forward to hearing from you. Until then, I wish you an incredibly creative and inspiring day.